Yesterday, we said that we were tired of the great game of Pot Limit Omaha being neglected here on YouTube Poker. We talked about a very infamous hand between Patrik Antonius and Andrew Roble. And today, we're back with the biggest online poker plot ever played. $1.3 million between Isildur1 and Patrik Antonius. Now, this is a very famous hand. Like I said, it's the biggest pot ever played at online poker, and it's at PLO. It happened back at the 501k tables on Full Tilt Poker. And now some people out there I've seen say, well, this wasn't even real money. And, maybe they're right. Full Tilt Poker did end up just taking the players' money. So maybe this was fictitious money. Maybe it was real money. Who really knows? But I do know that this hand is pretty fun. And once again, it shows why PLO is such an exciting game to play and to watch. Now, the hand starts off, they're $677,000 deep. Patrik Antonius has $1.25 million at the table. This is kind of unheard of, being this deep stack. It's some live games you are going to be this deep when you win a lot, or when you think you're one of the best players, or when you want to swing your dick around and buy in for a huge stack of money at the table. But very often it's going to be a 9-handed table, and it's going to have a much different dynamic than a heads-up match where you're super deep with your opponent. Even online poker these days, on some of the sites like a Bovada or on PokerStars, it's very rarely that you're ever going to see a match heads-up, 6-handed in any sort of context where it's this deep at the table. So in terms of strategy, in terms of the way you approach the spot, I mean, man, let's just get into hand. Let's check this out. So Isildur1 goes ahead and open up 6, 7, 8, 9 with one suit, and Patrik Antonius is going to 3-bet ace, king, king, 3, double suited. Very standard so far. Now, at this point in time, Isildur1 is going to decide to go ahead and 4-bet his hand. And Patrik Antonius is now going to have a decision. Does he want to call the 4-bet, or does he want to go ahead and 5-bet? Now, in this match, this is a very aggressive dynamic between these two players. Patrik was 3-betting a lot. I believe Isildur1 was 4-betting a lot. So maybe in this spot, this might be a good hand for Patrik to go ahead and 5-bet. I would like to see a little bit better card than a 3, maybe an ace, king, king, 10 double suited, ace, king, king, jack, something a little bit more connected. Now, the ace and the 3 do connect, but I think in this type of spot, I'd like to have a little bit stronger of a hand. And what's going to happen often is you're going to 5-bet, you're going to be out of position, and there's going to be 600 big blinds more to play for. It's just going to be super high variance. It's going to be super crazy. It's going to be it's just going to put you in a lot of spots where you're like, man, what the hell do I do in this situation? But we know they would never have had these stacks if they weren't just crazy in general. So I think if Patrik is going to be having a 5-betting range here, ace, king, king, 3 is a good hand to go ahead and have in it. Now, we can take a look at Isildur's 4-bet. So as we said, Patrik's 3-betting a ton in this spot. Now, Isildur1, they're super deep. I think he can expect to 4-bet here, not get too 5-bet often. So he's going to have initiative. He's going to be in position. They're still going to have a ton of money to play for. And he's going to have a hand that sometimes when he makes a hand, Patrik might attack that board. And sometimes when the board comes ace high, king high, Isildur1's going to be able to continuation bet. And that type of board structure is going to favor Isildur's 1 pre-flop range more than it's going to favor Patrik's range. So I think Isildur decides to 4-bet this hand because it is a connected hand, it is a strong hand, and it's a good hand to have in your 4-bet range when you're this deep. So once Patrik's in the tank, he's thinking, what do I do? He goes ahead and makes the 5-bet pretty quickly. Isildur1 now has a very easy call. There's no chance you're ever folding in this spot. You have a hand that's going to flop. The flop's going to tell you it's not going to be too hard to play. Also, you're going to have a lot of money behind. So you're going to be able to potentially make some plays. I mean, you may be able to call some flops and then see what happens on the turn. I mean, it's just such an interesting and unique dynamic when you end up being this deep stacked at PLO. So we see the flop is 4-5-2 rainbow. You guys see the hands. It's going all in here. So Isildur1 flops the wrap. Any 3, 6, 7, or 8 gives him the nut straight. Patrik flops the second nut straight. 1 backdoor quad draw, 2 backdoor flush draws. I think that's all he got. There's still a really strong hand though, obviously, on this flop. And now we kind of take a look at what they should do. So Patrik, in this situation, this isn't necessarily going to be the best kind of flop for his range. He's mostly going to have aces, some good double suited kings, some high card hands, maybe a Jack 10, 8, 9 type of hand, Queen, Jack 10, 9, King, Queen, Jack 10, Ace, King, Queen, Jack, maybe a double pair hand like a Queen, Queen, Jack, Jack, double suited. So in this spot, I think he's going to want to always c-bet, but then it just comes down to what size does he want to go with. And I think in this spot, I would probably go with about 90 to 100,000. And I wouldn't expect Isildur1 to get too out of line. I don't expect him to ever really raise me without a very strong hand or a very strong semi-bluff or a draw. I don't know how often I would expect him to float. I mean, that's kind of what makes these spots super unique and super interesting, is that it's just there's so much money to play behind. And we all know Isildur1's crazy, so yeah, I think Patrik is going to want, whether he's really balanced here. I was going to say, I think he probably wants to be balanced, but I'm not sure if he's necessarily going to take a balanced size here. He might pot some of his aces that he has in his hand, trying to maximize his fold equity. He might go with a $100,000 size when he has a hand like Ace 3, when he has a hand like King, Queen, Jack 10, when he has a hand that he's going to be bet folding in this spot. So, which is actually kind of an interesting strategy when you think about it. But also, this is a very unique spot, and maybe it wasn't a unique spot in this match. Maybe they're just playing $161,000 flops all the time. So he tanks for a little bit here, and he's going to go ahead and make a bet. He goes to bed and bets 91,000. So now Isildur1 has a decision. What do I do? And the spot's interesting. So Isildur1 did 4-bet preflop. He's not really going to have too many hands that he's 4-betting preflop that do connect with this. I mean, he might not always have 6, 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's going to have some combos of Ace 3, but he's not going to have that many combos of Ace 3. So in this type of situation, he's really just not going to have that many really strong hands in this spot. So now we start to think about, well, how do we play a certain range in this situation? And let's say Isildur1 does have a 3-6 in his hand right now. Let's say he does have Ace 3 in his hand right now. What do you want to call, or what do you want to just raise here? And quite honestly, I don't fucking know. They're so deep, it just makes it so unique. And I think it kind of comes down to, does Isildur1 expect Patrik to ever bluff the turn? Does he expect Patrik to, okay, so let's say Patrik has a hand like Ace, King, Queen, Jack with 2 backdoor flush draws. Or even says he has a hand like Ace, King, King, 10 with 2 backdoor flush draws. Now, if Isildur1 decides to slow play the flop here and the turn gives Patrik a backdoor flush draw, most likely Patrik is just going to go ahead and pot that turn and try to take advantage of his fold equity. And then Isildur1's going to be able to get all in. And whereas he might not have got all that money in on the turn, or I'm sorry, on the flop. And let's say Isildur, man, it's just like a very kind of, it's just a unique spot, like I said, because you're super, super deep. And will Patrik have some strong aces and strong kings that if he bets here and he gets raised, does he always call them off? I think that's a very important question here to ask if you're in Isildur's spot is, if I do raise here, do I expect Patrik to call off with a strong overpair with a backdoor flush draw, or maybe 2 backdoor flush draws? And if he's going to call with those hands, then I should probably raise. If he's not going to call with those hands and I have a strong hand here, then I should just call and try to get a bunch of money in on the turn. And in this spot, when Isildur has a hand like a 6, 7, 8, 9 or a 5, 6, 7, 8, I think the best plan of attack for that hand is going to be to raise, take advantage of your fold equity, hope that Patrik does fold your hand. And because with 6, 7, 8, 9, you're never getting it in. I mean, I guess you're getting it in good, sometimes a little bit good, but yeah, sometimes you're going to get it in against Ace 3, and there is some merit to calling, seeing a turn. But I don't fault Isildur1 for wanting to go all in here. And when he gets called, he just has to say a prayer to the EV gods. So Isildur1's in the tank. thinking about it. What do I do here? What do I do here? $600,000 more. This is ridiculous. Chat's going crazy. The chat back on full tilt. It was out of line. It was fun. He raises. Patrik instantly goes all in. Isildur1's like, oh, fuck. Let's hope we get there. Isildur1 is a 46% underdog. Patrik, with flopping the second nut straight here and 2 backdoor flush draws, is only a 54% favorite. Obviously, he's getting his money in good, but you can see it's certainly not that good. And the turn and the river are going to come. The turn's a 5 of hearts. Very terrible card for Isildur. Blocks the hearts that could come on the turn. And the river is a 9. Does not improve Isildur's one hand. Does not improve his hand better than a straight. Patrik Antonious takes down the pot. $1.3 million pot. He's left with a $1.9 million chip stack. And Isildur1 instantly reloads for $200,000. And man, that's the hand. That's just one of the biggest hand of all time. As you can see, what's going to happen when you decide to 4-bet a hand like 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you call a 5-bet, you're going to end up in a spot like that where you end up putting a ton of money in with 9 high. You really don't want to put a lot of money. You don't want to put $700,000. You don't want to put that money in with 9 high. All right? If you're out there and you got $700,000 at the table, you probably do not want to put it all in with 9 high. That's my suggestion to you. And yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed yesterday's video. The comments were great. The feedback was great. I really appreciate it. We'll be doing a lot more PLO hands here in 2017. A lot more PLO content as well. Have any suggestions? Let me know. And like the video, subscribe, comment. You know, the coach says ask all those things for that, man. So that's it. Much love. Hope everybody enjoyed. And be back soon.